Hello everyone, this is Impulse, and today I'm bringing you a tutorial for a Hopper minecart item drop-off station. So the idea behind this is you have a Hopper minecart on a track, and let's say it's going around and collecting items. Maybe you have a mob farm and they're dropping onto your track here, or maybe a killing floor above it, and you need a Hopper minecart to suck up those items and then basically pick them all up and drop them off into a chest. Well, this is exactly what you need, so I'll demonstrate here real quick. So I got a stack of 16 iron blocks, throw it on the track there, sucks it up just like a vacuum, and you can see when it gets to the end here, it starts to drop them off all into this chest, and as soon as it's done, it goes back on its way to pick up the next batch. So the way this works is as this Hopper minecart rolls over this hopper here, it's going to suck out items, and at that point it's going to turn this comparator on, which is going to power this block here, and then unpower that torch, which will in turn unpower this repeater, and that's going to unpower this block and then unpower this rail, and that will basically stop the minecart from going on its way until it's completely empty and all the items come out of this hopper below it and into this chest. And then once it's empty, the comparator will turn back off as it is now, and it will power that rail so it can continue on its way. Okay, so let's take a look at that again in action. Here, I'm just going to throw some items onto the track here. You see it picked it up right away, and right now the cart is dumping items through this comparator here. You can see there's an item in it as it's flowing into the chest, so that comparator's on. You can see just like I said, and there it goes as soon as it's empty. And all the items I threw in are right there. Okay, so there's probably no need to build it out for you since you can pretty much see everything from here as it is just a one wide. In fact, if you wanted to make it tileable, you could. And let's just go ahead and get rid of that, and I'll show you how to make it kind of one wide design. So let's say we do this, put the hopper facing down, and then we put the track on top of that. What you do need to know is that under this hopper, no matter where this hopper feeds to, it's going to need to be into a chest. That kind of slows down the item as it goes through this hopper enough to set that comparator off so that it is necessary. So if that's not where you want your chest, you could say, create a hopper chain, or let's say you wanted your chest out here. Maybe you could just kind of do one of these deals, hook it up that way, and then you can still access your items. So let's go ahead and test that. Throw a couple onto the track here, make sure it's still good. See if it picks it up, and there you go. And so that should be making its way all the way through this into that chest. There you go. And now you can basically tile these next to each other. You would just need to alternate in between regular chests and trap chests, of course. Okay, so just to give you guys an idea of an application that might be useful for this, let's pretend you have a mob farm and you're basically dropping the mobs to their death, and you want to drop them onto a floor that's unspawnable so you don't have to worry about mobs being down at the bottom of the drop. You could have your half slabs like this, and then basically, your mobs fall, the cart picks it up and then drops those items off. You can send them to wherever you want, and you can see that works just fine. And of course, if you were dealing with this sort of mob farm where you're either in the nether where you have to deal with magma cubes, or you're in like slime chunks, or in a swamp where you have to worry about slimes, and you can see that there is this 1 block high gap here that slimes and magma cubes, at least the one tall ones, could spawn in. One way to prevent them from spawning is to basically put solid blocks on top like this. And then since mobs could spawn on top of that, you put 2 layers of snow to prevent mobs from spawning there. And then you can go ahead and drop your items on top of that, and you can see the cart will still pick them up through that, and this is totally unspawnable surface. So that's just one trick and that will prevent, like I said, that will prevent the magma cubes and slime, at least the one tall ones, from being able to spawn in this little space and kind of stopping your cart and things like that get in your way. So that's basically it for the Hopper minecart item drop-off station. This is pretty useful, especially when you have a mob trap that you're dropping mobs onto with a pretty large area, and you don't want to do like a big hopper floor. You can save on some lag and save on some materials there by building out this thing and just kind of wrapping the track around, or setting up these in like a tile pattern if it's really, really big. So a lot of uses here, very useful. I know I've used it in a couple of my mob traps, and hopefully you guys enjoyed it as well. If you did, make sure you hit that like button and consider subscribing to the channel for future videos to come. And with that said, I'll see you again next time. Have a good one, everyone.